Well, then what can I teach? If I can't say be healthy and don't die, what can I say? If I can't say go be successful and take care of your family, what can I say? Am I supposed to do what most rich people do? Take my hundreds of millions, delete my Twitter account and vanish and leave all of these peons and peasants to suffer? Because that's what rich people do, because the mob is ungrateful. Every single person who watches this needs to tweet a thank you to Elon Musk. Every single person. Oh, but I disagree with him on whatever. He's the most powerful person in the world. You're a nobody. Say thank you. The world has lost everything. It's lost its gratefulness. It's lost its decorum. We've lost our respect. We've lost any kind of unifying, binding factor. The Western world has collapsed in real time. We are in a war. And it's not just a domestic problem. I want you to understand something, Mario. It's not just a domestic problem. Our enemies don't have this problem.
Who's our enemies? Who are you referring to? Can we put them in a bucket, or is it more of a mental?
Well, instead of enemy, let me say competitors, because the world is endless competition. Russia doesn't have this problem. China doesn't have this problem. India doesn't have this problem.
Would you want to live in China though?
No, I'm not saying I do. What I'm saying is, in the global competition, which is forever ongoing, we have a population at permanent civil war trying to compete against a unified population which outnumbers us 4-1. Where is the ending to this? And if all these liberals who want to complain and cry about authoritarianism under the Republicans are going to really hate the world when America falls. If we don't unify, if we don't get behind some idea and stick up for ourselves, the domestic problems are the least of our worries. We have international issues which are encroaching on us in real time. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Western world is going to implode. There are external forces. There are internal forces. This is the end of empire.
Is that a flaw in democracy, a flaw in the concept of freedom? One that, we cannot pinpoint the solution to it, but we're witnessing that unfold. As you said, Dubai doesn't have the freedom that the US has, but it is safer. It is a place I can walk around and not worry about having security. In the US, I'm sure you'd think twice now after what happened a couple of days, or what happened yesterday. In Romania,
well, all systems are broken. Democracy is a good system, but it becomes corrupted. And obviously, dictatorships are not a perfect system either. All systems eventually collapse underneath the weight of their own ineptitude, because all systems are inept. And it is a circle in which democracy falls to a kingdom of some sort where we find a savior. And eventually, when the king dies and he's replaced by someone inept, we then call to choose our own king and democracy returns. I'm not saying I have the solution to this, because all empires have fallen the same way. What I'm saying is, and what I'm doing is lamenting the end of democracy as we know it, because it is happening in front of our eyes. You may sit and say it's not happening, but it is. I'm not saying I know what the exact solution is, but I'm saying that it's very sad that it's happening, even if it's unavoidable. And perhaps, if I were to think about this rationally, considering that all democracy falls in the end, we should at least try our very best to retain our morality, retain our humanity. So if it damages democracy to lock up all these clowns who were laughing at Charlie Kirk, well, democracy is over anyway. So we need to at least reinstill our morality and humanity by teaching people that you don't laugh about the deaths of a father in front of his kids. I would at least do the moral thing. And the moral thing is to let these people know that this is not acceptable. That is not a human way to act, irregardless of politics. That is inhuman.
So where would you live? Romania, you're arrested. You had someone try to kill you a week ago. The UK, you had a comedian arrested a few days ago for a joke he made. Other people arrested for things they tweet. In the US, Charlie Kirk killed, people celebrating his death. We're talking about Europe. We're talking about the US. I come from Australia. At least there's no bad news there, but censorship is starting to get traction.
There's a lot of bad news in Australia. And that's what's so scary.
Wise, yeah.
Well, that's so scary. Where do we go, right? When Rome was falling, I'm sure the Romans who believed Rome would never fall, because it's Rome. We've been in charge for thousands of years. We have marble, these big, beautiful marble constructions and gold-plated towers. How can we possibly fall? I'm sure once they understood the decimation was coming and that Rome was going to fall, they asked themselves the same question: where do I go? Where is there to go? And there's never an answer.
Where are you going to live after? Where are you going to live?
I don't know the answer to the question. My intention is to return to America. That's my intention. But I'm going to catch a bullet sooner or later. But what else can I do? Where else can I go? I'm not Chinese. So what do you want me to do? I can go to China and hide, but that's not who I am.
I've got a lot of critique on China as well. If you speak out too much.
Everywhere. There's critique on everywhere, but I'm not Chinese. I'm American. So I'm talking about the American system. I'm talking about the complete lack of souls in the majority of the American youth in the world today.
What did you and Tristan talk? What was your first reaction when you saw the assassination?
Well, I saw that he had been shot. And I said to Tristan, Charlie Kirk was shot. And he said, no way. And then I saw that he was stable. And then I saw the video. And I said, there's no way you can make that. You can't make it. As soon as I saw the video, I knew. At that range, you'd be better to take a bullet in the head, because the bullet would have slowed down enough. Maybe your skull could have saved you. Neck is too soft. He bled out. He was over. I knew it instantly. And my heart broke. I don't know what else to say. It's easy for me to get angry and scream at these liberals, but there's no point screaming at a soulless. It's like screaming at a tree, these people. They have no soul. They're not sentient. There's no point screaming at them. My heart is broken for Charlie, for his family, for the Western world as we know it, for the country my father served under, for the country I was born in. My heart is broken. I don't know what else to say to you. The world as we know it is over. And the people who are cheering for his death want you dead too. And they want me dead. And unfortunately, if you study enough history, these people are psychopathic enough to get what they want. Because it's not about good and evil. It's about motivation. It's about who is prepared to do the most heinous transgressions to win. If you're playing a game, cheaters win. And they're going to cheat. They're going to cheat the election. They're going to cheat the judicial system. They're going to keep cheating until we're all gone.
Since we last spoke, I want to move on to other topics. We haven't spoken in a while.